The story of the Middle East is a tale of complex politics and seemingly endless violence with global implications. But it's also the story of the people, Israelis and Palestinians whose lives are twisted and torn by the conflict. Adrienne Arsenault worked hard to uncover those stories during her years as the CBC's Middle East correspondent. But tonight, a story she says she just stumbled across. Here's Adrienne with the story of Moshe and Munir.
Appropriately enough, it all started with the olive harvest. It was October 2004 in the troubled hills near Nablus in the West Bank, as the Darwish family gathered the fruit from their own trees on their own land. This is Munir Darwish. As content as he appeared, days earlier, he'd seen something that frightened him. A radical Israeli settler who lived high on the hill above his village had shot and wounded Munir's friend while they walked together in their fields. It was one of several attacks on Palestinians that year. He showed us where it happened and had nothing but venomous words for the settler with the gun.
إذا هذا مربى فكره ومخه حاقد على الأديان كلها لا يحترم الأديان جميعها نهائيا هو بس عنصري حاقد قاتل مجرم هذا هو المستوطن في رأيي.
He'd come to loathe the settlers, but in the middle of the conversation, he was suddenly eager to make one thing very clear, that he didn't hate all Israelis.
The people of Israel, I like them. I work in Israel after يعني منذ 10 years. The son of my headmaster, yes. I make for him this, like this. He come.
With his broken English, Munir told a story of once working in Israel for a man who built swimming pools. He made friends with his boss and grew close to the man's son.
That's the beast. Not the beast is shooting.
Munir wouldn't let this tale go. And at his home, while his wife made lunch, he pulled out pictures he'd treasured for 15 years of people he hadn't seen since.
What's his name?
His name Gidon.
Gidon. What's his last name?
Father's name Moshe Shenar.
Moshe. Gidon Moshe Shenar.
Yeah. I sung for him F in Hebrew. A for Itzba. Yani, where is your finger?
You would sing for him in Hebrew?
I sing for him. A for Itzba, A for Itzba, Hine ho.
You played a lot with him. He was like your son.
Yes, I like him like my son. You see how I am very pleased with him. You see.
A sweet, clear memory of a lost time. Given how much ugliness has passed between Israelis and Palestinians in recent years, it can seem hard to fathom that once some had been friends, had trusted each other. But a few do remember and talk of an era of cherished connections between the two, of Israelis who went freely into Palestinian villages, of Palestinians who worked for and toiled alongside Israelis, a time of real human contact. In the late 80s, early 90s, almost 200,000 Palestinians, just like Munir, worked in Israel. But when over time the violence here started to get worse, the numbers started to drop. The work permits for Palestinians started to disappear, and Israelis stopped going into Palestinian cities and towns. A culture of political and physical separation developed, and ever so gradually, the basic human relationships just vanished. That's what happened between Munir Darwish and the Israeli he remembered from so long ago, Moshe Shenar. So what became of Moshe? Munir had explained he lived near the sea. The pool company, Alpha Pools, wasn't hard to find. Still in business when we went to have a look in late 2004. The Israeli economy had picked up, And one of Moshe's other sons, Danny, was working away near Tel Aviv. At his side, an Israeli Arab colleague, but no Palestinians from the West Bank or Gaza. Those days were over.
When I'm sitting with my friends, they don't know Palestinians at all. They're afraid from them. So I have to explain to them how they live, how they behave, to explain to them that not all the Palestinians are like they see in the television.
Did he remember Munir? Remember the bond forged with his little brother Gidon? Not really. But Danny was sure, just a few kilometers away, that his dad would be at home, and he'd certainly remember.
Shalom, Moshe. I'm Adrienne. Nice to meet you, finally.
The mention of Munir brought instant recognition. Moshe's wife Candy went to fetch photos of her own.
Here are photographs. Yeah, this is when we were building the pool in Eilat. And there's Munir.
That treasured little boy Gidon, all grown up. In his hands, a keychain Munir had once made him.
Remember Munir, I can't, but I remember a nice feeling inside when Munir, I have fun with him. But it was a
At least, though, he had a memento of those days. His younger sister Emily couldn't even imagine them. Like so many Israelis and Palestinians of her generation, she knew little of the other.
So you'd like to meet Palestinians?
Yes.
But you haven't had a chance yet.
It's such a shame. It's because these are the next generations of Palestinians that we have to make peace with. And in order to make peace, you have to know each other, you have to talk to each other, you have to see each other, you have to work with each other, you have to eat with each other.
In my time, the beautiful day that we have every Saturday to take all the family, to go to Nablus, to go to a lot of places, to meet people, to sit and talk, drink coffee, and we going again, and then coming to us. It was like you're going on a vacation in the country.
The opportunities he once had with Munir are gone.
The old city.
A friend whose face and voice had been lost to Moshe for years, until we played back the tape of that day in the olive grove.
Good, look, he's great. He was ginger. Oh.
The people of Israel, I like them. I work in Israel after يعني منذ
He's wearing the
10
same
years.
glasses.
The son of my headmaster, yes. I make for him this, like this. He come and put his arm around my neck. And I told them, that's the beast. Not the beast is shooting.
What's his name?
His name Gidon.
Gidon. What's his
Gidon.
last name?
Gidon, his father's name Moshe Shenar.
Moshe. Gidon Moshe Shenar.
Yeah. And this is Gidon. You see how I am very pleased with him. You see.
Why did you keep this picture all these years?
Because I love him. And I want to see the world. That's the relation between us and the Israelis after 10 years old.
This is in the lab.
Because I love him. I still love him until now.
מסכן, תראה איך הוא הזדקן.
That seemed to take you a bit by surprise. That was unexpected. Can you explain why that affected you so?
So many years together, we eating together with the same plate. We sleep in the same village or the same hotel that we're building. Listen, this is, I think it was 8 years or 12 years, I don't remember. When I'm working with people, we become family, more than a family.
Would you like to see him? Would you like to meet him?
Did somebody throw a stone on you once? You felt? So you know the situation. If I have to go to the West Bank and they put stones on me, now they shoot. I'm not going to be there.
And what about him coming here? How would that work?
It doesn't work. Unless you bring him in your suitcase.
He can't. Can he get permission to come?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
But there's no license to get to Israel. Unless you in Abu Allah, Abu Mazen, Abu.
And so, certainty that life won't get better, that these friends will never meet again. The Shinar is too nervous to go into the West Bank. The army and governmental restrictions on movement likely too tough to allow Munir to get past the checkpoints into Israel to see them. Theirs is the type of resignation that comes after decades of disappointments. In the long years that Moshe and Munir had been apart, so much blood was spilled, so much hope humbled into the landscape. Even in the months and years after we met them, the pattern of despair didn't change. The occupation continued to crush. There were moments of massive political turbulence and grotesquely familiar violence. Periodically, we checked in. In 2006, when Palestinians voted for a new government, Munir went eagerly to the polls, looking for any sort of change that might bring Palestinians out of poverty. Moshe, too, was contemplating change. Triple bypass surgery and the winding down of some of his work. They still hadn't connected with each other. Few Israelis and Palestinians were connecting. Israel's barrier separating them just kept growing, and the political chasm between them only widened. By June of this year, Munir was struggling.
My mother is died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For 40 days.
Having just buried his mother, he found himself caring for his sister in what would prove to be her last days. Work and joy were scarce. So we asked Munir if maybe some time with his old friend might help a little bit. He knew we'd found Moshe. It just wasn't clear if we could find a way to get them together.
He remember or not remember?
Oh,
yes,
for sure he remembered.
Yes. Moshe is good. Is good human.
How are you?
Great. Like $1 million. Nice to see you. So you're all set?
Yeah, I'm sorry that Candy, she's not here. She's at London now.
And Gidon?
Gidon is study.
He can't come.
He can't come because, you know, the army pays for his study in university.
Just so I get my bearings here. Okay, so we're right here. Now Munir lives right around here.
Nablus.
Okay, close to the Nablus area, in a little village right around here. We're going to meet him right here, at the gas station near Ariel. How far away do you think roughly this is?
It's 1 hour, maybe 40 minutes.
When was the last time you think you were in this area here?
Oh, a long time.
You're not afraid of me driving, are you?
Oh, this is a little bit of a problem.
And so, the ride to the West Bank, the journey Moshe once said he'd become too nervous to make. The compromise, the meeting would take place just outside an Israeli settlement. That's as far as he could go.
To Mr. Moshe.
And near Nablus, the trip had become an event. Munir's arms loaded with gifts from his land. We'd approached the army for the right clearances, and in theory, he had permission to travel through a checkpoint. It wasn't as far as Israel as he'd wanted. Still, Munir didn't seem disappointed.
This is the best moment in my life.
And Moshe, always the philosopher.
So what does all this separation do?
Listen, every person, it doesn't born mean. Everything is education, what he see around him, how he see the family, his friends, from the beginning.
Just a roadside restaurant. This is the meeting place and Moshe is ready, but Munir's not here. The right permissions with the army are in place, but with checkpoints, there's no guarantee.
Oh, wow.
Today, though, no problems.
Wallah, Munir. Ahlan. How are you?
How are you, Moshe?
Your white hair, what happened to you?
How are you?
Bo, sit down, come. Sit.
15, maybe 18 years. They can't remember the last time they did this.
It's good to cry sometimes.
Yes, it's good to cry.
So,
For Gideon,
Gideon is studying in the university.
this is the photo I can take. Here, this is my wife. This is my sister.
Uh-huh.
And this
Nice.
is Hammam now.
Oh, nice boy.
Yeah.
And your mother passed away. You kill me. I have a weak heart, you know. You have to be careful with me.
Thank you.
For an hour or so, it is the old days again.
I have a little girl now, Emily.
Emily.
This is Giddy.
It's beautiful.
You see, and this is Candy with me. We're going to wedding.
Oh, well, I thank God to see you again.
You see, in the end, it's going to be peace, so we can make a big party.
Inshallah.
What is your telephone number?
This time, new numbers and addresses are exchanged, promises to try, in the face of all the obstacles here, to somehow keep that connection.
Okay.
Maybe they will. If they do, it will likely take a huge effort. And will make Moshe and Munir rare souls here indeed. Adrienne Arsenault, CBC News, near Ariel on the West Bank.